little party I went to, Diddy party. We went to the little private area behind the, cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a house, his backyard with a fat bed, and then it had like a miniature little whatever.
You guys, stop everything. Chrisean Rock just ignited social media, and she's not the target of criticism this time. She publicly criticized Young Miami on Instagram, claiming that she had sold her to Diddy for his infamous freak-offs. Miami was not spared by the internet. It was akin to a digital takedown, and people were dragging her across timelines for reasons other than Chrisean's shocking revelation. The timing was crazy since Miami wasn't just in the mix when a victim named Jane Doe revealed in court that she was Diddy's top freak-off girl. She was the queen bee, was making over $250,000. But that wasn't all. She allegedly raised her freak compensation to $500,000 a month since, in addition to acting freaky for him, she was also allegedly recruiting other girls like Trick and helping to cover up his transgressions. Yes, Rock, as you get older, this tea gets darker. Diddy has already brought up Miami in one of his lawsuits. As you might remember, Lil Rod accused Diddy of operating a criminal business. You know who else was mentioned? Miami. Lil Rod initially only discussed how Miami had specifically hurt him, but he later amended that lawsuit and included receipts showing that Miami had received up to $250,000 in hush money to engage in a number of dubious activities, including smuggling illegal drugs across state lines for Diddy and Diddy threw an extremely unsettling Thanksgiving party in Miami. According to Lil Rod, Diddy instructed Young Miami to have her cousin sexually assault him after he was too surprised to protect himself after Diddy had poisoned his drink. According to reports, it went tragically wrong when Miami's cousin entered the bathroom where Young Rod was striving to get better, groped him, and tried to make him do it in front of Diddy and other people. However, it doesn't stop there. According to court records, Miami was one of the ladies Diddy hired for his private freak-off parties. Indeed, it has been stated that she was among the middlewomen who regularly assisted Diddy in obtaining chicks. Even photos of her and her cousin Diddy together, seemingly enjoying themselves, were shared by Lil Rod from that Thanksgiving night in Miami. Accused her of transporting Diddy's infamous pink drugs on a private jet. The kind of pink that has been mentioned a lot in those cases and was even removed from Diddy's hotel room when he was arrested is familiar to many who have been watching the proceedings. Let's now discuss how this whole crazy payroll procedure operated. Diddy's accountant, Robin Greenhill, reportedly managed the cash flow and wired transfers to females like Young Miami, Jade, Daphne Joy, and others who received monthly compensation for their work. Naturally, this disaster was blowing up after. It went viral online because Robin's name was mentioned frequently, and those financial records showed how deep this all went. Explosion investigative social media emerged. Not to mention the time Miami pretended to be snooty and told Gina, Diddy's other girlfriend, that she would be on her knees if she found Diddy. The receipts are rolling in. It was a spirit of I run this freak-off house. You all are beneath me. People remembered last year's allegations that Diddy was giving Miami a $500,000 monthly allowance. She wasn't having it when he reduced it to $250,000, and there were even rumors that they split up. Now we know why she was so courageous.
Young Miami put out a tweet a while back and basically was into it with, I guess, one of Diddy's other women. And she basically said, if I wanted you to eat my cat, Diddy would have had you on your knees by now. Do you think that that was really like her telling on herself before she knew things were gonna hit the fan?
No, I think that was her being herself because she's a dumb.
Damn.
I think she was just telling the truth because it's almost as rough as Nicki Minaj with females out here. I hear she lace front all the time. Snatching up and throwing them in her nasty twat. Like when I think of the title of her show, I'm like, is that what your victims be saying? Carisha, please?
Oh, man. Damn. Okay.
Please, Carisha, stop, Carisha, please. She likes that turns her on. Wild bitch. And her in the sexy red and the Sukianas and all this the saucy Santanas. The whole lot of them. Got say this. I know a Punisher when I see one. I was a Punisher one time in my life. You know, it takes one to know one. And I used to be hard on, but these, they doing I wouldn't do.
Everyone started to think about this madness. Carissa jumped in with additional venom at these crazy meetings, going public and claiming that Young Miami made a concerted effort to get Chrisean Rock to be one of Diddy's girlfriends. Everything fell into place when the trial news broke. Carissa claims that Miami was actually developing Chrisean and that the rumors were no longer unfounded. Chrisean was being prepped to be Diddy's next freak-off queen. She hinted Miami had started hanging out with Chrisean and taking her out all of a sudden, but it didn't make sense.
He was trying to recruit Chrisean. That's what Diddy and what's the girl Carisha was trying to recruit Rock. Remember that when they were heavily trying to get Rock to hang out with them? I think they was trying to recruit her. She got a lot going on. We're gonna talk about it on this podcast. We're gonna get to the nitty gritty of all the gritty of the nitty. Cause it's necessary. I think them was trying to recruit her. Cause remember they just had her pulling up to everything. Thought she yeah, remember? See what I'm saying? We don't. This podcast gonna be, cause y'all know the mama know everything and everybody business. So we gonna find out on this podcast. We ain't gonna talk no shit about nobody. We ain't gonna mock nobody, but we definitely gonna explore the possibilities that were going on. Cause they kept calling her, remember, pull up to the birthday party. Come over here and dance on Carisha. Remember that? I feel like they was trying to recruit that baby to be in on this. That makes, see what I'm saying? That's why I gotta have a podcast, because I gotta get the on the table. Can't nobody get it on the table but my nosy. Okay? Tasha K ain't, she over there making up. I know we gonna get to the bottom of on this podcast. Tell me if I'm lying. Go on over there and tell me if I'm lying. I'm telling you, they was trying to recruit that baby. They said, let's get her away from him. That's what they was doing. We gonna put a couple pounds on her and have her fly. They ain't gonna never suspect her.
And that would make so much sense. That's why he grabbed him and he said, what did he say? He said, do you love her or she need love?
All she needs is love. Now how about that? We're gonna explore all the possibilities.
Someone discovered an old party video of Trojan at one of Diddy's wild parties when the receipts arrived. He was leaning in to kiss her face, which was unpleasant to see. She tried to break away from Trojan, who looked rigid and clearly uncomfortable, but he held her. Another, even stranger, clip from January showed Chrisean herself narrating how she was with Lyle Plummer, Batty's executive producer, who allegedly invited them to his private back room, not his house, but a back room behind the house where the freak-offs were said to have taken place. There are rumors that the freak-offs happened there. Diddy, who was unhappy that he hadn't paid Chrisean enough for her services, allegedly grabbed Lemuel by the collar once inside after failing to bring his security super draw. As with Cassie Chrisean, his people now believe Diddy was playing the role of a guardian to lure Chrisean in and give her a sense of security. Chrisean even asserted that Lemmy would start treating her better, paying her more, and respecting her more after that night. But why did that change take place? Diddy allegedly wanted her to believe that he was her savior.
I'll never forget that motherfucking day, bro. So, I set a price. I said 200,000. You said 100. I said 150. I'm not going underneath that. Cause what? I'm about to bring a lot to the table. That little party I went to, Diddy party, we went to the little private area behind the, cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a house, his backyard with a fat bed, and then it had like a miniature little whatever. And then me and Lemmy go upstairs. They tell him that he can't bring his security. He went in like a little with no security, so it's just me and Lemmy. We go up in there. Hold on. We go up in there. We go upstairs. He like, what's up, Diddy? You know, you met Chrisean. You gave her kisses on the cheek. Early on in the party or whatever. We just wanted to follow up. I'm glad that you Sean. And then he grabbed Lemmy by his neck. It was like, but do you with her? Like, don't play with her. All she need is love. Don't play with her. Don't play with her. And I didn't understand that till
Diddy's support of Chrisean over a payment was a smoke and mirrors stunt, simply another of his alleged manipulation tactics, similar to what he did with Cassie. We now know that he used the exact same tactic on Jane Doe, who disclosed in startling detail that she had a committed relationship with Diddy from 2021 to 2024, that is, until his incarceration. Not to mention that Young Miami knew who Jane Doe was because he was publicly linked to Diddy starting in 2022 until the feds pulled him down. The nasty twist in Jane's narrative is that, in contrast to Cassie, she admitted that she stayed for the money, not only the rent. Otherwise, their stories are nearly identical. Reports state that Diddy promised her over $10,000 a month if she did all he asked of her, regardless of how he treated her, including those freak-off parties. Diddy was made aware by Jane that she didn't want to be involved. But what did he do? He performed mind tricks, gaslighted her, and dangled her money and lifestyle in her face anytime she tried to leave. And who's footing the bill? According to him, if you leave, it's done. The worst part was that, like so many others caught in poisonous power struggles, Jane made a sincere attempt to leave him once after finding out that Diddy had taken Young Miami on a trip to Turks and Turkey. The public began to turn against Jane after Diddy iced her out and took off with the lady who would comply with his every request. Okay, freak off with Diddy if you want, but don't drag other women into this mess, said the young, hardcore Miami crowd. Anarchy since Jane had declined to perform for him. She was not invited. When it was made public that she had reportedly tried to recruit Chrisean, Twitter didn't hold back. Some claimed that it would have been stupid to employ Rock since she was unable to maintain secrecy. According to others, Natalie was doing for Lemuel what Miami was doing for Diddy, and they demanded that Natalie and Lemuel be investigated further. Under the pretense of casting, everyone on the reality circuit is somehow a part of the same shady system, which they are referring to as a full-fledged trafficking pipeline. The whole system of females being groomed, those in positions of authority, serving as puppet masters, and Miami supposedly playing both victim and recruiter became the focus of the outcry, which had expanded beyond Diddy. The red carpet, the lavish trips, the monthly wire transfers, the drug deliveries, the private planes, the sexy Instagram postings, the girls being used. People are incensed over what Chrisean might have said if Chrisean hadn't uncovered. Would any of this even be known to us? And let's talk about Chrisean for a second. She was a young, gullible woman looking for a break, and now a glamorous industry figure is coming. The fact that she has previously gone through it and is still caught up in this awful web speaks much about her. He doesn't choose victims off the street because that's how he works. Instead, he establishes confidence, acts as a protector, distributes money, builds castles out of lies, and then shuts the door. Young Miami entices her in, takes her out, introduces her to Diddy, and gives her the fast track. However, what if Chrisean had failed to recognize the warning signals?